This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. So from here, I believe I have started the last class. Okay. So what's the difference between the data element and domain? We understood in very much detail the difference between the data element and domain. Okay. Then we understood the concept of include structure and append structure, like how it behaves, the include structure and append structure. And then we understood what's the difference between value table and check table, right? So value table, we saw like value table option comes under the domain. When we are going to create the domain, at that point of time, the value table option comes over there. And the check table option comes when we are going to create the table. So at the field level, you can see I have written over here the table field level, that option comes. Check table holds good for referential integrity. That means foreign key relationship, right? So the foreign key referential integrity is nothing but foreign key relationship, just to maintain the consistency and integrity, right? Foreign key relationship. Fine. So this is our referential integrity and foreign key. All this thing is fine over here. Let's go ahead and we will discuss the different topic, like, you know, we are having the different views, search help, customizing a structure. Okay. So I'm going to copy this topic. We are having all this topic there in my syllabus. Okay. Once we will go from here, you know, like after this class, we will see what are the topics we have covered from that particular syllabus, and if anything missed out over there, we will mark it and we will try to complete in the next class or maybe coming classes. Okay, fine. So here the different view. Today we are going to understand what is view. Okay, and after that we will see what is search help. Okay, and there is one more topic, that is the customizing structure. This I will let you know. Okay, what is actually this customizing structure? Maybe now itself I can tell you what is customizing structure, because already we were talking about this include structure and append structure. So we can see about it, what is customizing structure. Let's go to the system and we will see what is customizing structure. So as we know that the structure is nothing but it is having the field, right? We have seen a structure is like table only, but it is not having the technical settings and all these things over there. So maybe first I will write the difference between a structure and table, because this is also one important interview question. Okay, so here I'm going to write the table, and at the right side I will give you the structure, and we will see what is the difference between table and structure. These are very important from interview point of view. Many times they will ask what is the difference between table and a structure. Okay, so you have seen how I have created the table, and while creating the table, you know, we have seen that we are having the technical settings over there. So maybe I will log into the system. Go to AC11. This is where we create the table. So while creating the table, maybe I'm just going to create one more table. a student, instead of a student, let me create one employee table. Click on this create button. Okay, and here we are having the employee table. The delivery class, I can give the A, right? Application table, and the maintenance allowed. That means I can maintain the entry in this table. And field, as I've told you, MANDT, we generally keep it over here because the data we want not to be visible in all the client. So client dependent data, we are just going to give it, and maybe I can write the employee underscore ID. And here just you observe one more thing, that uh, here I'm giving the Z employee underscore ID, right? This is my key field, so just I'm selecting this as a key field. If you press enter, there is, it is telling it is not active. That is this data element. Here I'm giving this data element. This data element is not present at this point of time. So if you double click over here, just read it. It is telling this data, it is telling that this table was changed. Do you want to save? Yes, I want to save. And then after, I will save into local. And after that, what it is telling, that the data element, what I have given over there, does not exist. Do you want to create the data element? Yes, I want to create. So if you double click over there, it will ask you to create the data element at that point itself. Okay. And here, if you want, you can create the domain, or you can use the predefined type as well. All right. So here you can see that car 20 maybe, or car over here, and 20 you can give over here. Press enter and just save it. And what you can do, local, this maintain level is important. I have told you why it's important, right? Because everywhere, like in, for example, when you are going to create the table maintenance generator, right, at that time it is going to be there. Here you can see short, medium, long, and heading is there. You might be thinking, why every time I'm just copying the same thing and I'm putting it over here, right? You can change the length also. For example, in short, you can mark it something like employee ID. In medium, you can write employee ID. Long, you can write, employee identification detail, something like that. So what it will happen, based upon the length on the label. Okay, so how like you are going to, suppose this is a one label you are having, this is one label, here one label is coming employee ID. If you will, if you will shift your column right towards, and if it will get the more space over here, the based upon the space, the description will appear over there. Okay, as you have seen in the Excel file, right? When we drag, and when we drag right side, then if suppose longer length is there, it will come completely fill it up. Here dynamically it will be decided by the system which label it has to display over here. Okay, so if the if the length is more, then employee ID will be shown. If length is less, like this much column only is there, then employee ID you will be able to see. If more length is there, like this, for between two line in a column, then you will be able to see this long. Hope you are able to understand. If you not, please let me know so that I can try to explain in another way. And don't feel don't feel shy while asking any question. You can even drop the message over here if you don't understand anything. Okay, uh, keeping the message is very easy over here on the uh, GoToMeeting. You can simply drop a message that you didn't understand this concept, so can you elaborate a little bit. So I will take some different example, and I will try to make you explain with my level best. Okay, so just save it over here. And here also, like for heading, suppose if you want to use this particular data element in form of heading, so that also you can use it over here. Okay, just save it, and you can activate this one. This is a data element you can activate. So all these things we have already seen, still just I'm going through to make you revise. Okay, and here you can see this table. we have already declared this transparent table over here, right? This employee ID, and similarly you can mark it some different value over here, right? Here you are having the technical settings. In technical settings, you are giving the data class, right? Why you give the data class? Data class you give because here you can see there are different type of data class: master data, transaction data, organization and customizing data, dimension tables, facts tables, ODS tables. So different type of data class is there. Why the different types of data class is there? Customer data class, different types of data class. So maybe this point I will try to elaborate a little bit. Just come over here, and data class we didn't discuss in detail in our some classes, last some classes in detail we were not able to discuss. Just I have given you the overview. So data class is nothing but it is to categorize the data. It is to categorize the data. But what is the benefit? The data class, the name itself, it is telling the class of the data, like what is its category. Okay, so why we divide the data into the category? The reason behind, when you divide the data into the category, then what will happen? Based upon your category, the data goes and resides in the database. So in database there are different spaces there. Okay, different space you are having in the database. Suppose this is your database. Okay, so some particular space, for example, if you see, I'm just going to denote some particular, this is one space. Okay, this is some particular space in database. Then some another space we are having like this. So different space divided in the database. Okay, and why the different space is going to helpful? The reason behind the different space is here, it has been categorized because you are having the different category of data. So here, if you see, here in the data class, you are having the master data, that means the transparent tables. You are having transaction data, that means the transparent tables. You are having the organizational and customizing data. So different data class sits in the different physical area. Okay, that means APPL0, APPL1, APPL2, whatever the data class is there. So for example, APPL0, that means master data, all the master data will be kept together under this physical area. Okay, then the transactional data APPL1 will be kept transactional or transaction data. Okay, you can keep it in the dedicated area. And similarly, like APPL1 you can kept. So APPL1 stands for organizational data, right? This was APPL1, APPL0, APPL1 and APPL2. It stands for organization and customizing data, right? So actually it's APPL2, L2, APPL2, and it's organizational or customizing data. Here you can keep. So why at different places we are keeping the data? What is the benefit? And similarly, other you can put accordingly what it had been. So why this differentiation? What is the benefit of this differentiation? For example, user data, right? So user data, you are having USR1, and similarly another user data area is there. So the different space why we create there are a lot of benefit for this. The nature of the data. Master data, it's a rarely modifiable. It's rarely modifiable, means it gets modified very rarely. And the transaction data, it keeps on changing frequently, right? Frequently changes there. So if your data is at some particular dedicated place, like you know that this master data is going to modified very rarely, and if you are going to put at some dedicated place, so for the system, you know, from performance point of view, it is going to be very beneficial if you are going to choose the correct data type, because accordingly in your database system you are having the different memory area, right? And which memory area is going to get access more frequently, it gets depend upon the data class. So if transaction data is there, that means lot of transaction is going to happen every time. That means it may be put uh, in 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 that kind of area which is more fast, like that, you know, or the data which it is going to manage in such a way that, because it's going to get every time, you know, access, get accessible, so you can manage in such a way that it will give you the better performance. So if your data is going to be clubbed together separately, like master data at one place, transaction data at one place, organizational data at one place, and user data at a separate place, and similarly another data class, so it will be easy for a database administrator or for the system, you know, to behave accordingly, right? It will be easy for the system to behave accordingly. The data which is rarely modified, you can have a different treatment with this memory area. Okay, here it is going to get very frequently, you know, very frequently it gets changed, as we have seen, right? So here you are going to, you can, you know, you can do the treatment in a different way, similarly here and here. So the memory management, you know, the memory management or the performance management, the performance, you can improve your performance if you are going to change the if you are going to select the correct data type. Or for the database administrator also, it becomes easy to manage the data. Okay, if they have to manage the data, it becomes easy. That's why, you know, the data class is important. Now there is one topic, it was the size category. Okay, here this is the size category. So size category, as I have told you, if 0 to 13,000 is there, it does not mean only that you can put only 0 to 13,000 records, right? That means the, if size category is 0 to 13,000, you can put even more records. Okay, there is no problem. The meaning of size category means initially it will allocate the memory for 0 to 13,000 records in chunk, in one chunk. For another chunk, again it will allocate the 0 to 13,000. So I will show you how actually it happens. So come over here, and first I will give the header over here, the size category. So the size category means whenever you are going to, this is your database, right? And I'm just going to create one table inside this. So maybe I'm just going to denote with the help of this diagram. I'm going to denote this table. Okay, so this is, suppose your table is there. So whenever a table gets created in a database, what happens? The initially means this table definition, right? First you will create, when you create the table, for example, I'm creating this table, and once I save and activate this one, right? When I will go back and activate this one, the table will get created. As of now, we have not put any record over there, right? Only this table definition has been created. So when the table definition gets created, the initial extents gets allocated. That means memory initial extent, this memory which holds the table definition. Okay, the initial extent, one memory area gets allocated to this table definition, right, which will hold the table definition and all. And for that memory, you know, that memory is known as the initial extent. Okay, initial extent. Once you define the size category over here, this is the size category, right? 0 to 13,000. So based upon the size category, what the system will do, that first extent it will, the first extent it will create for your memory, first memory extent it will create based upon. So suppose it is a 0 to 13,000, so maybe you can denote the first extent like this for the 0 to 13,000. So now in your table the data is going to fill. Suppose it's a employee ID, right? Employee ID, and here the employee name, something like that. In your table the field is there, right? Employee name right now I have not given, maybe you can give a more field over here, name called employee name. Okay, I'm taking the example of this table, so just I'm trying to, so employee name, and here you can directly double click, press enter. If you press enter here, you can see it is not active. Not active means this data element does not exist in the, actually technically if you see over here, that means this data element may be there but it is not active. But generally if you realize, generally it is not there. Okay, that's why it is telling, you know uh, but the meaning of this one means it may or may not be there, but it is not active. So if you double click over here, suppose if it will be there, it will directly go. Okay, but it is telling it is not exist, data element does not exist. So we can create over here. So quickly we can create employee name, and the domain you can create, or you can just go for the predefined. So I will get rid of creating the domain, but domain is having their own advantage, lot of advantage, like value table, fixed value. I have already shown in our last 4 classes all these things in detail, right? Save it, and local object, and maintain field level. If you come over here, employee ID you can give, sorry, employee name it is, so emp name you can give, emp name, and then just I'm going to copy and paste. As of now you can manipulate based upon your requirement. Okay, as I have shown you. Go back, but I forgot to activate this one. You have to activate, right? So for activate this one, just go back, and now I'm activating. So now my table is having, the employee ID and employee name also, employee ID and employee name. So that's the same example I have taken over here, employee ID and employee name. And here you can see the ID I'm going to give 2, 3, 4. This is my key field, right? And 5. And here some name I can give Ram, I can give Sita, I can give Gayatri, Anuradha, whatever. I can give the name over here, and maybe these names I have given over here, and the initial extent I have chosen over here. What if you come over here in the technical settings, 0 I have chosen, that means it can hold 0 to 7,100 entries, right? Extent 0 means this one, 7,100 entry it can hold up for this memory. So as soon as when you are able to maintain the 7,100 entry in that particular table, okay, in that particular table, what will happen, that this first extent of memory will get filled. Okay, now when you are going to put the next record, that means 7,101, it was what, 7,100. So when you are going to put 7,101 record, again it will allocate the another chunk of memory, that is called the second extent. Okay, so it will keep on extending, second extent. So why we have to be careful while choosing this size category? What is the benefit? Though it's not going to hamper your functionality or anything, but technically from performance point of view, if you know that your table size is small, right? If you know that your table size is small, that means you are going to have the less amount of data, then why to go for the larger extent, right? Unnecessary, you are going to waste the memory, right? If you are going to choose the larger extent. Okay, but suppose if you are having large amount of data, then why to choose a small amount of extent over here? Because many fragmentation will get created. Suppose you have 20,000 or 30,000 records. So to store the 30,000 of records, one fragmentation this, another fragmentation this, again another fragmentation to hold the data. And if more fragmentation is there, performance will not be good, right? So for if you know that you are having the large table or large number of records, use accordingly your size category. So that is the size category. Okay, that is the size category. Hope it's clear for all of you. And there was more important concept which I promised initially that I will let you know in explain this delivery class. Okay, so this delivery class, what is the meaning of this delivery class? Okay, so as the name, you can see the name as it suggests, it is name is delivery. Delivery, what is the meaning of delivery? Means something is going to get delivered, right? Something is going to get delivered. In this case, what is going to get delivered? In this case, you are going to deliver this transparent table, right? Where you can deliver this transparent table? Where you can deliver this transparent table? I have told you, as a developer, you are going to do all the development in the development system, right? Then it will be moved into the quality system, right? Development, then it will move into quality, then it will move into the production. So once you complete your development in the development system, you will do your delivery of that particular object in the quality system, right? Again, from quality, you are going to do the delivery into the production system. So you are doing multiple delivery. That means you are going to do the transport management. So whenever the delivery comes into the picture, transport should come into the mind. Okay, so that's why your data is going into the different system with the help of transport. Okay, so now if you see over here this delivery class, that means different transport behavior is going to happen based upon the delivery class. As a developer, mostly we are going to use this application table and this customizing table. Okay, mostly we are going to use this application table and customizing table. So if we're going to use this application table, then the transport management is going to be handled in a different way for this master and transaction data. If we're going to choose this customizing table, then the transport management is going to happen in a different way based upon this particular delivery class. And similarly for the some other L, G, E, S, W, all these things, means it decides this this decides how your transport management is going to happen. So you can note this. Now you can go here and you can write it here, that delivery class. So delivery class, it decides how the transport management is going to happen. And when the transport management will be required, when you are going to develop some new object, right? When you are going to create some new table, then only transport management will be required. Or if you are going to update some table, then only, because you will have, if you are something going to happen, if you are going to do something in the development system that changes, you have to move into the quality and production, right? So it decides how the transport management is going to happen So this particular transport management is required only when you have to do some development. So here you can, maybe here itself you can write, is going to happen in case of development, okay, or uh, maybe you can also write implementation, or you can write or update or rollout. There is a term called rollout. What is this rollout? Okay, I will let you know what is this rollout in our coming session, or maybe briefly I can tell you. Suppose one object you have developed for a particular plant, okay, or for a particular uh, company code for an organization, and the same object you are going to implement for the different company code of the same organization, you know. So same kind of replica kind of things you can understand. If the same object you was going to implement for the different plant or different company code within the same organization, that is known as the rollout. That means a kind of new development which is already existing, just you are going to copy and paste it over there in the new plant or new company code or new component of that organization, and you are going to configure accordingly based upon their requirements. So this actually known as the rollout. So implementation or update or rollout project, it plays very important role, because in that case your transport management comes into the picture, right? So this is actually the delivery class, very very important. Sometimes interviewer will ask, but we get confused generally that what is this delivery class. But if you tell in this way, you know, he will be certainly happy. Okay, so if you tell at least this much, that this delivery class is related with transport management, and transport management behavior is decided with the delivery class type. Okay, so whatever delivery class you will choose, based upon the transport management behavior is going to get defined. And so this is fine, and we have activated, and now I have shown you. Yeah, I was trying to show you that, you know, here you can see the technical settings. In the technical settings, so many things I have shown you. But while we were creating the structure, right? Go to this data type, and when I'm creating this structure, just observe over here, ZMB is, and click on this create button, and you can select this structure. You will see that there is no technical settings, right? If you just compare with those, so here maybe go to a structure for employee, okay, and the component, we are having different components. Just you have to give the name of the field over here, whatever the field. So for example, if you want, you can keep the MANDT field, but generally, you know, in a structure there is no data, right? Because there is no data, so there is no meaning of giving the MANDT field. Directly you can give the field name. Okay, so what field name you can give? So employee underscore ID you can give over here, types you can give, and the component type, the Z employee which I have created, right? Z employee underscore ID, and similarly the first name you can give over here, and the types you can give, and Z first name, something like that we have created. Okay, so you can even search that one. So Z first name, this one I have created just now. Press enter and just save it, and local object it will ask to save. So local object means I'm not going to transport into another environment. That is the meaning of local object. Okay, because this I'm here having only one system, so I'm not going to move into another environment. That's why I'm saving it into the local object, or either local object in the local package. Okay, Now here, just I'm trying to show you over here. This is my structure, and if you go and see into the table now, okay, so go to this table, and you can see in this table you are having this technical settings, indexes, and append a structure, right? In this table you are having this option over here. Just give me a second. I will, maybe here I can show you, and here side by side you can compare. Okay, side by side you can compare over here. So here you are having, this is your table, this is your structure actually, and this is your table. So I will, here this is your structure and this is your table, right? Here you can see technical settings is there, indexes is there, right? Here you are having hierarchy, display, and append structure, correct? Here delivery and maintenance is there. Here there is nothing called delivery and maintenance. If you see here, there is no delivery and maintenance, but here you are having delivery and maintenance. That means, uh, currency and quantity field in both the places it is there. Input, help, and check it is there, but technical settings, indexes is not required in a structure. Why? The reason behind, there is no data going to take place. You will not be able to fill any data in the structure because table contains the data, a structure does not contain any data. Okay, table contains the data, a structure does not contain any data. But what is the use of a structure then? So you can see the structure I have used as an include structure, I have used as an append structure, right? So that is the use of a structure. And when we will do the programming, then we will able to understand how a structure is going to play a very important role. Okay, even though it does not contain the data, but the physical data in real time, but still, in programming or here you can see while including in last class I have shown you the include structure and append structure. It's going to play an important role. Fine. So if it's clear, uh, this uh, differences. Now I'm just going to write the difference between this. Here I have already written this table and structure. So here you can write it contains the data, right? And the structure, you can write it does not contain any data. It doesn't contain any data. Okay. And here in the table, it do have the technical settings, right? And delivery class. Delivery technical settings. If you tell the technical settings, everything will come like technical, in under technical settings only, everything like all this buffering, right? Buffering, delivery class, data class, all things will come under this only, right? Okay. Data class, sorry, delivery class will not come under the technical settings. Size category come, size category. So this all will come under the technical settings. Okay. Here you don't have such technical settings. The reason behind, you don't have any data. So why to do buffering, size category, and all these things is not required, right? So no technical settings. No technical settings. In a structure, you don't require the indexes also, right? Because you don't have any data. Then why to create the index? Index is to create it to fetch the data fastly, right? So here in the table, index will be required. You will have to, because here you are having data, so you can create the index over here. Similarly, the maintenance, right? Here you can see in the table you are having the delivery and maintenance, right? Delivery class and maintenance. Because it does not have any data, right? The table does not, a structure does not have any data. So it does not require to maintain the data over the transport, and that's why the delivery and maintenance is there in the table but not here in the structure, right? So you can note this term also. So no, here delivery and maintenance is urgent. So maintenance, okay, delivery and maintenance is there, but here in structure no delivery and maintenance, no delivery and maintenance. Okay, I think this is wrong. Right click, maintenance. Okay, so no delivery and maintenance, but here the delivery and maintenance is there. So in interview, if we're going to tell some differences, like the very first difference is it contains the data, very important, right? And the structure does not contain the data, right? So this is going to be very important. Okay, so table contains the physical data, maybe you can write physical data, but a structure doesn't contain any physical data. Physical data means permanently, right? Permanent data, any physical data. Okay, this table, if you talk about the table can store the data at runtime. Okay, also in form of internal table. A structure can also hold the data in runtime in form of work area. Okay, but I will not like to confuse. When we will learn, when we will come into the report part, at that time we will see how a structure in runtime, not permanently. That's why I've written over here the physical data. Okay, very important. So just as of now, you understand that a structure does not contain any physical data. Table contains the physical data, and this much. This is a very important difference. You will have to understand this, and other things, you if you are understanding, that's fine, good. If you're going to tell, your interviewer will get impressed with you. Fine. Now we will move forwards and we will see, the view. What is view? Okay, what is view? So we will see what is
Hello,
view
so
over
it's
here.
a customizing structure. What the mean of customizing a structure?
Yeah, customizing a structure, good question. So okay, I have closed. So what you can do for the customizing a structure, actually it is already provided by the SAP. Okay, not the customizing a structure, actually that is known as the customizing include. Okay, for example, if you go to AC11, okay, and if you go to the Mara table, and here if you like to search about the uh, customizing include, so you will be, if it is there, you will be able to see it will be starting with ZZ. Okay, so just let me check out if it is there or not. So because you know that you cannot append the, you cannot enhance the standard table, you cannot enhance the standard table, right? You can use the append structure to enhance the standard table. You cannot append the standard table with include structure. You have to use append structure. So SAP has given you the customizing include. So with the help of the SAP customizing include, you can enhance the SAP standard database table also, or SAP standard structure also. So that is actually customizing include, which is given by SAP itself. So let me search. It will start generally with ZZ. Okay, dot include dot include, it is not there. So what you can do, just let me search. I'm not able to remember at this point of time. So I will just do example of customizing a structure. Sorry, customizing include actually. Okay, example of customizing includes. So here, maybe you can see customizing includes are used by customer to enhance a web dictionary, right? So it is given by SAP itself that customizing include, because SAP standard table you cannot enhance with the help of your own include. So SAP itself gives RKPF table, it is telling customizing include, it is telling CI underscore COBL. This is the customizing include. So what you can do, that you can go directly to this CO underscore COBL, and there you can do your, you know, uh, whatever enhancement if you want to do, you can do here. Okay, here it's telling if you want to create the customizing include, this is the steps you have to follow. I have not created this customizing include. Mostly we are going to create, you know, the append structure or that our dot include. So maybe you can go through some of these, you know. So you can enhance the structure in table proj, right? So just go and I will see this proj table. Okay, come over here slash and sc11 and we'll try to say control V display and proj in underscore inc. So here, like it is telling it's a customizing include, double click over here, and as it is telling, maybe here I think you can do your enhancement. So if you change over here, it is asking for the access key. I think customizing include does not ask for the access key. You can go and change over there. So maybe I will take a look on this, but this is how, like SAP itself gives you the include where you can do your enhancement, because you cannot create your own custom include for the SAP standard table, right? If you want to do, you will have to use the append structure, or else what you will have to do, you have to use the customizing include, which is provided by the SAP. You cannot do. Okay, that's why its name is customizing, because that include can be customized by you. Okay, customized by the customer. So you can have a look by going into the example if you want to learn in detail, or maybe I will check if and I will let you know in the coming classes. Fine, so this you understood, and now let us see the view. What is the view? So come over here, and here we will see the view. So what is this view? So if you talk about the view is actually, it takes the data from the different table. View is based upon the tables. In fact, you know, whatever the tables we are having, based upon that the view is created. View does not store the physical data, but it gets the data at runtime from the different table and it shows us. Okay, so view is means different way of looking the data, different different way of looking into the data from one table or more than one table. So this is actually your view. View doesn't contain the data permanently or physically. Okay, physically or permanently. Okay, Now view shows the data by fetching the data from one or more than one table at runtime. Okay, so view shows the data by fetching the data at runtime. At runtime, it will fetch the data and it will show you. We'll discuss in detail this view. View we are having in SAP data dictionary, we are having 4 types of view. Okay, we are having 4 types of view. So the very first view is, the projection view, or maybe I can start with the data dictionary view. Okay, sorry, database view. Database view. Another is the projection view. Another is the projection view. Then another view you are having, which view? Maintenance view. Maintenance view. Okay. And then one more view we are having, its name is help view. Okay, so there are 4 types of view we are having in the data dictionary at SC11 layer. And here we are having the help view. What is database view? So database view is nothing but it gets the data between the 2 table based upon the inner join. Okay, gets the data from 2 or more than 2 tables based upon, let me enlarge a bit, 2 or more than 2 tables based on inner join. Very, very important term. This inner join you have to remember. When we talk about the database view, that means I'm talking about the inner join. Okay. So you don't have to write any query and all, just you have to go and you have to use the SC11 SE11 transaction, and there itself you can, with the help of graphical tools, like whatever we are using in SE11, what is this? This is graphical tools, right? Just we are going and creating the data, right? We don't have to write any query and all, right? So this is kind of graphical tool where simply we go and give and just save and activate, it will automatically create. But if you see the SQL and all, right, there you will have to create the table in form of create table, and you will have to give the name of the table, a schema, all these things you will have to give the character. It's a little difficult, but here it's so easy, right, to create the table. To create the view also, it is the same thing. Here you can come and let me show you by creating one view. First, we will create a database view over here. So I will show you, how you can create a database view. ZMB28 I'm just giving. It is my prefix which I am using, ZMB28, and I will write DB for here, database view, DBV morning batch maybe, or simply DBV database view. Click on this create button and the first option database view is coming. Let it be like that. And here database view demo, and the table here, maybe you can choose some table over here. So the table which we have created, that table itself we can choose, come over here, and what you can do that The student table, maybe I can take this table, ZMBA student. This is one table, and I've also created one mobile number table, something like that, right? ZMB28. So if you want to see whatever we have created, so ZMB28, and after this I will put the star and press F4. It will give you all the artifact which we have created over here. You can see that's the benefit when I'm using this prefix. So I will be able to find out what I have created. So on mobile table also I have created, right? So I'm just going to put the inner join between, you know, the student table and mobile table, and in one view itself I will get all the detail, right? So how many of you know about the inner join, left outer join, right outer join? Can you please let me know how many of you know, so that accordingly I will go ahead, or first I will explain about all this and then, you know, okay, lot of
Yes.
question I have got. Yeah.
Yes, we
uh,
know, sir, in and all SQL statements
yeah, so
in
just
Jain
like,
and Jam.
yeah, so how many of you know, like, shall I explain in detail? You can give in the comment your this thing, and then, you know, and before that let me go ahead and first I will give the answer of this query. I have not seen this query till now, so just I'm going to see, and then after we will come again and we will discuss about the left different types of join, if somebody is willing to let me explain. If already you know, then I will not go, simply I will go ahead. So the first question I'm picking up over here, what is mean by data element and domain? That's fine. You will have to go to the first 4 classes, right? And I think in the first or second classes I have explained over here in the detail data element and domain. As of now, if I'm again going to explain, it will take time. So please go through those video I will share with you. Again, Ram is asking that where every data will be stored. Every data gets stored in the database table. Okay, every data gets stored in the database table. So I have shown you in the 3-tier architecture in the last classes, if you have seen over here, right? In the 3-tier architecture, this is, we are having 3-tier architecture. So here is your SE11, right? Where I'm creating the data. This is SE11. So here does not store the data. In backend we are having a database table. Okay, in that database table, you know, in my case, my database uh, in my database name is, you can go to a status and you can check what is my database. So here my database MS SQL. So all the data is going to get stored in the MS SQL database as of now here. Okay, so that's fine. Will they be stored in form of a table? The data will get stored in the like, if you are going to create the transparent table, it's going to store in form of table, right? So there are different types of tables we are having: transparent table, pool table, and cluster table. You can go through the second and third video, and then you will be able to understand the concept. Transparent table will be stored in form of table in the same way as we are going to create here in at SC11 or application layer, right? Okay, now others is having one question. Data class is going to apply on pool table and cluster table also, or it will reflect on transparent? In all kind of table, the data class will be there. Okay, the data class is going to have uh, in all kind of table. You have seen that when you are going to create the table, it is same as the transparent table only. So in transparent table, all the size category and all you will have to give over there. Once you create your transparent table, then you will have to categorize it as a by going into the here, this is your transparent table, right? You can go to extra and change display or table category. So you have to choose the pool table or cluster table over here. So transparent table itself is going to make in form of pool table or cluster table. So yeah, of course you will be having these technical settings over here, and then in that case you will be having the data class and size category. So this is applicable for both pool table and cluster table, this everything, technical settings or whatever, delivery and maintenance. Okay, Okay. Now others, you are able to hear my voice now?
So yes.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So now Ram is asking to explain what Ram is having one question. Okay.
Sir,
Fine.
about that joint, sir.
Okay.
That inner joint.
Okay. Fine. Good. Okay, I will explain that one. Okay, fine. So you were asking me to explain, so let me go and explain over there the inner join. So all the questions is now complete. There is no more question, and I will quickly go and I will explain about the join. And today we will end up our class by 8:45. Okay, so just save it, and I'm just going to create over here now. Okay, come over here, and I have created already some data for the join, and let me check. It's not there. Just a second. Okay, I will have to prepare again the data, or let me search. Just I want to search. I have already actually prepared the data for this join example data. Yes, this is okay. So control break all join. I have the data over here, and you can see, for example, suppose if we are having one table called employee table, and in this employee table you are having employee ID, first name, and the last name you are having. Okay, and the data from employee table I have marked in a yellow color, and here this is the data of the employee for the country. Employee country data, it is there. It means the employee which is belonging to the different country and their language also. So if we're going to use the inner join, okay, so this employee table and employee country, two different table is there, and the inner join you can perform based upon the employee ID. That means whatever the employee ID is going to match between these two table, the join will be performed on those ID, and it will be shown you over here. So suppose if we're going to put the inner join on this employee table, and the employee country over here, employee table and employee country, and you can put the inner join and you can show the data together. So what is the matching data over here? You can see the 4 and 5 employee ID is matching with this 4 and 5. So only the matching employee ID. So this inner join I have created based upon the employee ID. Okay, so the join ID is my employee ID, joining key is my employee ID. So if we're going to do the inner join on employee ID, it will look like this: 4, 5. The first name is going to come from this, okay, and the country is going to come from here. So 4 or 5 countries this, and the language is Hindi and English. Okay, so joining both the table based upon employee ID, only the common record from both will come. It's a kind of intersection, you can understand. Okay, now the full outer join. What is the meaning of full outer join? Full outer join means it is completely union. Okay, it is completely union. Union means the employee table and employee country were having. So all the data from the employee table will also come. So you can see that all the employee ID from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is also there. Okay, the first name is also there, and the last name will be also there. So here in full outer join, just I'm selecting first name, country, and language. That's why the last name is not coming. But if you want to put last name also, so you can put one column called last name over here, and the last name also you can display all this last name, because only I'm taking the 4 fields, that's why only this first name I'm displaying over here. Okay, now the country you can see it is coming from the second table. So from the second table, 4 5 6 7 8 4 5 6 7 8 is also there, right? And the country is also there, all this country, and the language is also there, all this language, you can see it is there. Means complete data joining all together, you can see in a full outer join. This is full outer join. The left outer join, that means you can see this is on your left side, this particular table, and this you can see this is on your right side. So left outer join means all the data from left is going to come. That means employee ID and first name I'm taking from the left table, so all the data from employee ID and first name will come over here, and the country and language I'm taking from the right side. So right side only those data will come which is going to match. So 4 and 5 is only matching with this, so only 4 and 5 data will come. So you can see only the 4 and 5 data is coming, right? So the left outer join. And the right outer join means the right the data from the employee country is going to take the preference. Means right outer join, the meaning of means all the data from right table will come. So all the data you can see, the employee ID, country, language, right? Employee ID, all the employee ID, that means 4 5 6 7 8 has come over here. Then all the country detail has come over here. Then all the language detail has come over here, right? And the first name, whichever the matching record with the right table is there in the left table, that only it will come. So here you can see that RC and Soha, this two name is there for the 4 5, that's what it is coming. So this is all about the different types of join. If you have any question, just let me know. I will, if you're not able to understand, I will try to make you understand again. Is it fine? Can you confirm over here? If it is fine, I can go ahead and I will create a
Yes, sir. Okay.
database. Okay, fine, thank you. So now what we can do, that we can go into the system and we will quickly create a database view. That means it will automatically create a join on the two table. Okay, so click on this create button, select this database view, and it is telling already editing. That means already in some another session I have opened this one. You can see here I have opened. So the table two table, I'm just going to take it over here, and the table is, this is the a student mobile table, and another table which we are having, that is the ZMB28 underscore student table. So this is my main table, right? ZMB28, and this is having this data. Main table is having this data, and the mobile is having in the mobile table. So you can go back and you can check in the mobile what is the data. This is a mobile number we are having. Okay, so just I want to put the inner join and I want to get the data. So my main table is this one, ZMB28 underscore student, which I have used as a reference table also. So main table I'm going to give, and click on this relationship. Once you click on this relationship, it will propose you the relation automatically. Select this one, or you can double click over here. You can see how the join is going to happen. So join from the main table on the mandate field, that will be by default coming, right? Because this field is going to have every time. Okay, and the student ID, okay, is the common field in both. So on the student ID, I can get the data. Okay, this can be our join key. Click on this copy button, just save it, local object. Okay, and you can activate now, or maybe view fields also you can select from here. So first, like what field you want to view. So I want to, so what you can do, you can click on this table fields. Okay, after that double click on the table from which you want to get the field. So I want to get all the field from this table. So mandate field I don't want. Okay, or maybe age and gender, till age or gender I will take. Click on this copy button and again click on this table field and get the data from the second table. Okay, so mobile number, counter and mobile number, I'm just going to fetch it. Okay, already student I have taken from this ZMB28 student, so I have not taken the second time. Okay, you can see these two fields is coming from this counter and mobile number is coming from this table, right? Now just save it and activate it. And what you will do here, if you click on this content and if you execute this one, okay, it will show you the data by fetching from both the table. You can see the data it is getting from both the table which is present, right? So only data from first table and second, only data for first student ID and second ID is matching. That's why you are able to see only the first and second, right? And you are having three counter over here. That means for the first student ID we are having three mobile number. Okay, so even you can check that one. So come over here and you can go to this table, the main table. So by double clicking also, you can navigate easily in this SAP. So just I have done, I have just double click over here. I have just double clicked over here and you can come over here, double click and just run it. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. This is what I'm having the data, right? This is what I'm having the data. And now if you just, uh, make little small, and so this is your main table and this is your mobile table. So I'm just trying to use this one. Okay, and if you see the content of this mobile table, just run this one and you can see 1, 2, 5 is there, right? And here you are having 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. So only matching is what? 1 and 2 is matching, right? 1 and 2 is matching for this one, and 1 is having 3 counter, right? 3 mobile number. So whatever it is matching, just it is showing over there. So only 1 and 2 is matching, 1 and 2 is matching from the mobile. So that's what you can see here. You are able to see. That means if you go back and if you once again go to this database view and if you run, that's what you are able to see from 1 and 2 only. You can see here 1, 1, 1 and 1, 2, 3, right? And this is the 2. Okay, so this is the database view, and there is one more that is called the projection view. So projection view, when you talk about the projection view always to be considered to get the data from a single table. When you talk about the projection view, data is going to come from the single table. So maybe quickly I will show you that and I will stop at that point. Okay, so ZMB28 and projection view. PV, click on this create button, select the second one. Okay, and here for the projection view, projection means you are going to project a single table in a different way, right? Single table. Whenever we tell the projection, that means single table. And maybe I can use this main table because I have already copied this one. So I have just used the Control V option and I have pasted it over here. Press enter and now click on this table field. And now whatever the field you want to see, just you can select from here. So from the single table, you can select whatever the field you want. Okay, just save it, and it's very easy to create a projection view. Okay, so now you might be thinking why we are doing all these things. We will understand in detail maybe in tomorrow class, and everything, all your doubt, most of the doubt gets cleared once we come in the a report part, then you will be able to see how much useful it's going to be there. Okay, this you don't have to use the inner join over there. Directly you can put the query on the database view to get the benefit of inner join. Okay, you don't have to put the field name. You can use the select a star from this projection view, and this view is having only 3 field, so the data will only 3 field data will come. Okay, so though this projection view is not going to use very much to be used very much, database view, the first one just I have shown you, that is going to be used very much, very frequently, very much. At lot of places you will be able to see this projection view is very rare. I have not seen, most means very rarely I have seen this one. Okay, just activate this one and click on this content, and you can see only the 3 fields it is showing. That's the projection view. Remaining 2 view we will discuss tomorrow, and let's stop our session here itself. Okay, and again, like in last time I missed some of your email ID, so just request you to please send me once again the email ID over here, so that from now onwards I will keep sending to email to the person who has been attending this class. Okay, so please mention your email ID over here, and okay, yeah, I find it things. So please send your email ID. I will just send you my detail and all, and you know, just a second. I'm just pausing the sharing, and